Have you ever had an argument with your spouse, a coworker, one of your kids, one of your friends, and it all stemmed from a miscommunication? Have you ever been unmotivated to go do something around the house or even go work out at the gym? Have you ever had a micromanaging boss that just doesn't get off your back? Have you ever been a boss that doesn't trust your employees and feel you have to constantly be on their back? Look, if you said no to these, I know you're a liar. But that's okay because we've all had these issues before. These are very common problems with one very common, simple, effective solution, and that's leadership development. And today, that's what we're going to be discussing on the Libretti Leadership Lab. Not only how leadership and developing your leadership skills can help solve those problems and other problems in your lives, but why leadership is so important and why it's vital to develop those skills. Don't forget to stay to the end so that you can like and subscribe and comment if you got value on this and tell your friends and enemies. Let's go. All right, this is the Libretti Leadership Lab #1. Listen, guys, we've all had those issues we discussed in the little intro there. We've all dealt with that before, especially the arguments with friends or spouses or children or coworkers. That's one of the most common things that happen. You have a miscommunication, you get into a little tiff, your negative, aggressive emotions kind of run wild, you react emotionally, and then things start to get said that you regret and vice versa, and the problem becomes expounded upon when it could have been solved far before that, even avoided. And that's that's the point of this whole thing. That's the point of the LLL, the Libretti Leadership Lab, is to bring to light how effective developing your skills as a leader can be, not just for your jobs or your careers or your law firms, if you're a law firm owner, or your business, if you're a business owner, but in your everyday lives as well. Because we all deal with these issues, okay? Even professionals at the highest level, top athletes deal with these same issues, top executives, leadership professionals like myself, the top special operators in the military. We all have these common issues, okay? But if we develop our leadership skills, we'll be able to navigate and mitigate those issues a lot more effectively and avoid a lot of them and be able to solve a lot more problems in your lives. And let's just get right into it. The why of leadership is because it is you could call it, some could call it the universal solver, the universal problem solver. Because everything that goes on in your lives that's negative, every hurdle you have to deal with, every stressor, everything that gives you anxiety, every problem you face, there's a solution steeped in leadership. And now that's an uncommon piece of knowledge right there, because not a lot of times do people think about that. A lot of times people think about, oh, well, I'm having an argument about this problem. You know, my wife or my husband got mad at me for not taking the trash out. The solution is to take the trash out or make them do, or whatever it is. But if you kind of get down to the root of that, for example, hello. If you get down to the root of all these problems, like that one, you can find the leadership principle or trait that could be improved upon or could be tweaked that's going to actually solve that problem in the long run. That's why it's so vital. That's why developing the skills as a leader is so vital. And I call it leadership skills because that's what it is. It's a skill. Okay? And you're going to hear me talk about that a lot. I'm going to say that over and over again because a lot of times people think good leaders are born, it's inherent. The leadership, skills and prowess are all inherent. You're kind of a natural born leader. You've heard that a lot. You hear that a lot in the athletics world. You hear that a lot in the military world with these top leaders and generals in the military. And there could be traits that are absolutely inherent, that you're just kind of like naturally good at that stuff. We all have things we're naturally good at. But at the end of the day, anybody, any jabroni out there can improve their leadership skills and become a better leader in their lives, their careers, their businesses, their relationships, everything. And that's that's the bread and butter of the Libretti Leadership Lab. And what we're going to be talking about on a regular basis is the importance of leadership, how it plays into our everyday lives and everyday situations. We're going to be discussing specific situations that happen. I'll have guests on, leadership experts and professionals, previous clients that learned, grown, and improved their leadership skills and how they incorporated these leadership traits into their lives. We're going to provide little education pieces. We're going to do everything here to give you the leadership value you want and should absolutely desire in your lives to get better as individuals. Now, how we're going to do that is a little bit unorthodox. Now, there are plenty of leadership professionals, experts out there, prior leaders, mentors, CEOs, executives that you can all look and learn from. And that's great. And I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to constantly strive to learn, grow, and improve, especially in the world of leadership development, especially in that. And there's not enough resources out there, in my opinion, to get that level of education and training and knowledge. So I'm always going to encourage you to, I'm never going to sit here and dog on any other leadership professional or leadership podcast or leadership YouTube or anything like that. If they're out there trying to help people, good on them. And if you learn better by listening to those people and how they train, absolutely go for it. The way we do things here at Spearhead Leadership, the company I own and provide leadership coaching and consulting for, we just do it a little bit differently. And you're going to get a little taste of that in this YouTube show, if you will, podcast, whatever you want to call it. You'll get a little bit of a taste of just how we're going to kind of go about instilling quality leadership principles into your lives and how to help you learn those traits and incorporate them effectively. It's one thing to just read up on leadership skills and different traits and different principles and learn about examples, but we're going to help you actually effectively incorporate those into your day-to-day lives. And we don't do this is not the cookie cutter stuff when it comes to education on anything. If you sit back and think about how you've learned or been educated your entire existences, your entire lives, through school, through college, through training at work, especially now with the advent of technology and smart boards and computers and all the how you doings, is you're getting mostly PowerPoint presentations and then professionals at some level, whether it's a teacher, a professional, a professor, or a hired trainer in your company that you work at. They provide you a PowerPoint presentation. They discuss some topics. They answer some questions, and then you're on your way to go figure out the rest for yourselves. And one thing we pride ourselves on, I pride myself on in Spearhead and even here with the Leadership Lab, is being able to cater to the specific ways that each person learns the best. And I feel like the skill of leadership is important enough that you want to explore every avenue possible to improve those skills. So we provide courses, if you will, teaching, if you will, in the more traditional sense. Then we amp it up with action items, action tasks that you can go out and do. And these are things that we're going to be discussing. We'll be providing examples of this in different topics and episodes that you'll be able to actually go out and work on your own time if you want, to kind of drive home the point of the things you're learning in each of these episodes. We'll provide anecdotes and stories and examples of leadership principles and particular situations that have come up in the real world, situations that I'm sure you guys have dealt with as well, so you can kind of relate to that. And then there's things you can do on what's the term I'm thinking of? Tactile side, writing things down, creating certain routines and tasks that you can do. Not really homework because you don't have to hand it back to me. Personally, I don't. If you do it, that's cool. If not, that's fine by me. Whatever. But exploring all these different ways to go about learning leadership, to me and to the clients I've worked with in the past, and the people I've led for for 14 years when I was an officer in the military in the Air Force, these have been the best. This is the most thorough way to kind of go about learning anything new. You just create every sense in your being now has the ability to pick up and learn how to, improve your leadership skills. So that's the how. Now, I always go back to the why. That's another thing I'm always going to say. Okay, you're going to hear me say a lot. Leadership is a skill, and the why. Why leadership is so important. Why you should have your own why when pursuing anything, and how that enables your success in whatever it is, whether it's solving a problem, achieving a new fitness goal, getting a promotion at work, building your business, scaling your business out. It all ties back to your why. So when you hear me say the why or why, it's always going, that's what we're talking about here. And that's why we started this show at Spearhead, this Libretti Leadership Lab. Hello, I got marbles in my mouth already. You're gonna get a lot of that too. This is not your normal educational video where I'm gonna do a whole bunch of takes and it's gonna sound super professional and Hollywood, caliber all the time. It's just a couple people having a conversation, trying to learn and get better, learn, grow, and improve. So if I fumble my words sometimes, that's what's gonna happen, folks. So uh, if you find value out of that, if you like what you're hearing and what you're seeing in this, and you're intrigued, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, comment in the comments section below the video. Tell me what you want to learn about on the leadership side. We were very general this episode, very general to kind of prime the pump to talk about the big picture of leadership and how it applies to things and why it's so important. So feel free to put a comment in. I'm gonna read your comments. Okay? If they're disrespectful and rude, I'm not gonna respond to those. But if you have an actual question or a topic you want discussed, maybe you're having a specific issue in your life, in your job. Maybe you're dealing with a micromanaging boss, and you wanna have a video posted about that, how to kind of deal with that, how to navigate with that. Put it in the comments. Add it in there. I want this to be as interactive as you possibly can with a YouTube show because you're watching a recording, and I get that, so it's not a live back and forth. But we thrive on your feedback, good, bad, or ugly. That's how we get better here. That's how this show is going to get better. And we're here for you. Okay, the Leadership Lab was created to provide the education and value for you guys. So if there's something that you want to learn about and you want to hear more about and you like this particular vehicle to learn about it, you like what we're doing here, put it in the comments and we'll talk about it. We'll create some tasks that you can do, some action items for you to practice to incorporate those into your lives a little bit better. This is real tangible things you can take with you. That's what we want to do here. We want to actually provide value that lasts for the long term, however long you want it to. Because again, anybody can Google how to be a better leader. I do it all the time to see what they're talking about, see what Google spits out every quarter to see if they update their stuff. And you're going to get a whole bunch of lists of things, top 10 things all good leaders do. Good communication. They build trust. They respect others. They care and they empathize. They're disciplined. They take ownership and accountability. But that's all there. It's all on Google or Alta Vista or Yahoo or whatever search engine you use. That's all going to be there. That's great. So is learning how to ride a bike. You can Google how do you ride a bike. Google how to throw a baseball, how to hit a baseball. I'm going to do a lot of sports analogies and examples because I grew up playing sports, played baseball in college, and you're going to hear a lot of military stories and a lot of military examples because I spent 14 years as an Air Force officer leading teams. So get ready for that. But you can Google all that stuff. You can look up all that stuff. But there's a reason none of us listening, or most of us not, listening, most of us, some of you might be, but most of us are not professional baseball players. Most of us are not professional BMX or Tour de France cyclists. Yeah, you can read up on how to do something, but if you don't physically practice and learn from professionals how to incorporate it appropriately and effectively into your lives, you're not going to be able to improve effectively. So we pride ourselves, long story longer, we pride ourselves on being able to provide you not only the education, so you don't have to go Google it, to learn how to communicate better, to learn how to take ownership in your lives and to hold others accountable on your team so that they take ownership, to learn how to build relationships, to learn how to build discipline and consistency within yourselves, to learn how to create goals and a vision that you can actually strive towards as a leader. We're going to provide the education on that and then some. Then we're going to provide actionable items that you can do physically each and every day or as often as you want to practice and get better at these things. And we're going to provide little voluntary homework assignments for you to take notes on if you so choose. Again, to be as thorough as possible and to cover all your bases when it comes to learning, growing, improving. Because to me, this is one of the most, if not the most important skills that you can work on as a human being, is the skill of leadership. And we're going to break those stigmas and those misnomers that you have to be in a position of power, a managerial role or a boss to be considered a leader, and you have to meet all these check boxes to improve leadership. We're getting rid of those. We're going to prove to you and everybody out there that leadership is for everybody. You can incorporate it into every aspect of your lives to improve yourself and to improve all those around you. You don't have to be a boss to be a leader. Leadership is not a job title. It's a skill set. It's a skill set we can all improve upon. Are we all going to be the Aaron Judge or the General Patton of leadership? No. But that's okay. We're all going to have our leadership skill ceilings, but let's hit those ceilings. Let's all reach them together. That's what we're here for. That's what this is all about, folks. So if you want to learn how to solve problems, if you want to learn how to improve yourself, if you want to know why health and wellness are so important, how to improve those from the general sense, if you want to work on communication, if you want to work on getting promotions at work, if you want to work on being a better manager, if you just got hired as a manager for a team in your career, if you want to learn how to run your business better, let's say, what if you just opened a law firm, you just started your own law firm, and you're a really damn good lawyer, but you don't know shit about how to run a business or lead a team because no one ever taught you that. That's okay. Bring it on over here to the LLL. The Leadership Lab has got your back. And if you want some more in-depth coaching and mentorship and consultation and training and education and whatever buzzword you want to use for it, reach out. That's what Spearhead Leadership does. That's what my company does. We will work with you one on one. We can work with you in your business for your entire team. If you run a business or you manage a team within a business, and we can get to the bottom of your biggest struggles and your biggest problems, and we're going to help you solve them. And whatever results you're looking for, we're going to get those for you. We're going to help you lead yourself and your team to those results. Okay? We're not cookie cutter. We're not going to send you 12 PowerPoint slides on communication and discipline and tell you to kick rocks until next year when you want to hire somebody, hire another trainer and we do it all over again. This is not that. Again, Spearhead Leadership prides itself on not having annual repeat customers and clients. We want you to go do great things in the world in the long term and not have to constantly come back to us for the same crap over and over again. We're here to make you better. The Libretti Leadership Lab is here to make you better. For those of you who don't know, I'm Libretti. I don't know why I didn't mention that in the beginning. Again, we're not cutting. We're not going to go back and reshoot. This is the show, folks. Okay? I'm John Libretti. I'm the owner, founder of Spearhead Leadership, a leadership coaching and consulting company. I started this company after I got out of the military. I checked all my life goal boxes in the military. Thought it was time to get out and pursue my personal life passion, which is to be able to help people. And what better way than to leverage my experience and skills for over a decade, almost 2 decades worth of leading teams and training others how to lead teams to be able to bring that out of the military into the real world and to help people and help businesses and help organizations get better. And the Libretti Leadership Lab, this show here that you happen to stumble upon, is our little YouTube show. Maybe it'll be a podcast on Apple, Spotify. We'll figure that out. We'll navigate through that as we go along. But it's just again a little taste of education on the leadership side, some actionable things that you can do on your own to get better more effectively, to get better faster, essentially, to improve yourself faster and for more, in the long term, more long run stuff. And it's just a little taste of that, how to do that. And we're going to have other professionals out there as well coming on the show, talking about their experience, providing more examples of how important leadership is, quality, good leadership, and what that actually all looks like. And then you'll be able to take that with you and actually do something with it. So again, I encourage you all to subscribe to this channel, to subscribe to the Spearhead Leadership YouTube channel so that you can, get notified every time we got a new video out. Engage in the comments with what you're looking for. Maybe there's a guest that you want to hear about or hear from. Get their take. Even if it's not a specific person, maybe you want to hear from, I want to hear from, a 7-Eleven manager or a guy who was a network, administrator, and now he's a manager of a whole team of IT professionals. Or I want to hear from, a bus driver, how they lead their lives. Or maybe you do have a specific person. And we'll try to get these people on to talk about their experiences and how to incorporate the leadership principles that they utilize and work on into your lives as well. And then we'll do some coaching stuff as well, as interactive as we can. So please be as active as you possibly want to be and can be in those comments, because we're here for you guys. We're going to cater to you. This is the People's Show. This is the People's Leadership Show. Maybe that's what it should have been called. The People's Leadership Show. Maybe we'll change it. Who knows? That's all I got for today, folks. Before we go, very quickly, I always like to do this at the end of everything I do. I like to talk about what I call the big three. And it's the three pillars, the three things. If you do nothing else, if you could accomplish nothing else in your day, if you accomplish the big three, even just a little bit, you'll be well on your way to becoming a better leader. These are the three pillars to staying strong and being a better, more improved, a better, happier, kinder, more genuine, healthier, less stressed human being and a better leader in life, and be able to spread that positivity and goodness and all those skills to all those around you and throughout the land. First pillar, exercise every day. We're going to hit this very quickly, and then I'll do a separate video that explains all the big three out very in depth so that you can use it as a reference if you ever forget. But number one, exercise every day. Do one thing every day that'll improve your physical, mental, or emotional health and fitness. So whether it's an actual workout at the gym or some sort of exercise, physical exercise, jumping jacks, push-ups, going for a run, going for a walk after a meal, or you're going to break that mental sweat. You're going to read a book about self-improvement, self-development. You're going to do crossword puzzles to work your brain a little bit. Or it's the emotional side of the house. You're going to pray. You're going to meditate. You're going to get in touch with your spiritual side if you're spiritual or religious. Do one thing every day to exercise yourself physically, mentally, or emotionally. You don't have to physically work out every day. You need to have those active rest days to, rest the muscles a little bit, but any sort of exercise every day. Number two, this is probably the hardest one to do, is don't be a shitty person, be a kind person, and get yourself out of the negativity. Now, very quickly, because I'll go into more in depth with this in a different video, there's negativity all around us, constantly. It's almost human nature to be on the lookout for negativity as a survival instinct so you can get ready to thwart it and get out of there. And with the internet and social media and all the negativity right there on your phone, in your pocket, just crushing your soul day in and day out, we want to get out of that world. We want to do everything we can to minimize the negativity in our worlds, because all that does is just flood our brain and our mind with negative thoughts and content and everything. And with that comes negative chemicals surging through our body. We're going to get those cortisol hits. That's when stress goes up. That's when anxiety goes up, because that's our body's alarm system to let us know we have to get out of this environment. We have to, a survival instinct. We have to do what we can to get out of here, back into the comfort zone. And your comfort zone should not be filled with anything negative. We're going to talk about how to push our comfort zones for sure. That's the mark of a good leader, is pushing those comfort zones. That's a separate discussion. But we want to get out of the negativity. We want to avoid being a shitty person. We want to lead with kindness and empathy. So when the opportunity arises to be negative towards somebody, to respond negatively towards somebody, or to be shitty or negative or anything, or just to consume it on your social media, on your phone, scrolling through all these negative posts and pages and just living in it, when that opportunity arises, I want you to take the step back, take a deep breath, cleansing breath, deep breath, detach from those negative emotions that you're going to feel. When you start feeling that negativity hitting you, that cortisol is hitting you, and now you're starting to get antsy-pantsy, take that deep breath, Take the step back, the Libretti step back, and detach from those negative emotions. Don't react to the emotions and then start responding negatively and commenting on somebody, even if somebody you think you think they deserve it. Maybe they were being a shitty person to you, and you think they deserve it. Take that step back, detach from those negative emotions, and just omit yourself from the situation altogether. That way, you're minimizing the negativity and the shit going on in your life and in the ether, in the environment around you. And now you have the capacity and the space to go focus on more positive and productive things with your life. And then pillar number three, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. And I do this every day by taking some time to actively think about, to stop what I'm doing and just think about at least one good thing in my life, whatever it is. It could be something as simple as running water or a working toilet. And then I think about what my life would be like without that thing and how crappy it would be without that thing. And that immediately puts me in a state of gratitude, just thinking, oh man, thank God I got a working toilet. I can't imagine having to go outside to go to the bathroom. That's crazy. Or thank God my air conditioning works here in Texas in the summertime. That would be nuts to have to deal with that without an air conditioner. And the more you do that throughout your day, the more time you're going to be spent in gratitude and the less time you're going to even have to spend in the negative world so that you're not spiraling down into those depressive states. And then you add on the exercise every single day. You do those three things a little bit each and every day. And I promise you all, you'll be a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being and a better leader in life. Be able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you and throughout the land. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, like, subscribe to the Spearhead Leadership channel. Comment whatever you want to hear about. If you want whatever you want to learn about. Comment how you like or dislike this format and what ways you best learn. I don't know if that sentence makes sense, but the ways that you can actually take in information and learn better for the long run, put it in the comments. Let me know, and we'll adjust and adapt to make sure that you're getting the most out of the Libretti Leadership Lab and all the things that we have to offer you guys, because that's what we're here for. We're here for you. Thank you guys again. I love you. Stay strong.